Welcome, welcome, welcome. DojoX Mastermind, DojoX Meditation Sangha. Thank you for being here. Everybody has been through the basics, and always like to bring in a few of the essentials of your chin facing forward, your eyes at a 45-degree angle, and a nice broad, wide vision. And you'll notice your mind will want to focus on different spots or sometimes even go away. So by following your breath, by diaphragmatic breathing into your belly, that you will bring back being present in the moment. It's impossible to think of a thought and pay attention to your breath at the exact same time. I haven't met many people that can do it. I've heard some people can do it. But it's a great tool to say, oh, my breath going in and out is how I stay present and aware. But taking that deep breath and really following it all the way down to the bottom of your diaphragm. It's like a vase where you're pouring the water and you let your belly hang out and be natural. And again, this is like when you were born. It was a natural state of breathing with diaphragmatic breathing. So, all right, if there's no questions, we'll go ahead and get started. Start with our 20 minutes and move into a 10-minute talk and then a 10-minute sitting to wrap it up. So, thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and get into your position and what feels good and comfortable to you, and we will begin. Some of that blood flow back. Tonight's Dharma talk, we've been looking at the pillars of the dojo, the monk, the sage, the samurai, and the sensei. And we've talked about the monk, we've talked about the sage, and tonight I wanted to talk about the samurai. And the samurai for me is a very I love the tradition of samurai and what it represents, and I think a lot of people have a misunderstanding of it, of the sword and the weapon and what the practice of samurai is all about. And the pillar of the sensei is about, the pillar of the samurai is about being responsive and not reactive. And so the practice of sitting in zazen or seated meditation is to learn to not be reactive from your thinking and be responsive from your hara. And so as a samurai, that people think they learn to wield the sword around and cut people or defend people or be attacked from all different angles, and that's what they mainly practice. And the practice of samurai is really in the seated meditation, getting to know yourself so well that you can see without your eyes, you can see behind your head, you can hear without your ears, you can sense sensations without ever actually somebody touching you. And so that's like, I used to have the kids in judo practice. One of them would face a wall and another one would walk up to them, and I'd have the one facing the wall just breathing into their hara. And about 3 to 5, sometimes 6 feet back, as they're walking up, I would have the person against the wall say to stop when they knew that the person was getting closer. And so they could develop their sense of awareness without their eyes, but yet feel people in this art of being in your body and being in relationship with the sensations and the responsiveness of your body. So if somebody came up behind a samurai and were attacking them, they could feel that energy of the attack. They don't have to see it. And so that's how they could move around fluidly with that, is staying in their body and being responsive to multiple attackers that's happening. And so that's a great representation for me that shows me the art of sitting in stillness and silence, and the importance of it is I will react to my thinking a lot if I'm in my egoic or ego thinking all the time and trying to figure things out, and someone may say something to me and I'll even believe that they pissed me off or they made me mad or they are treating me terribly, when really it's inside your own mind and body where that's happening. It's the trigger within inside yourself. And so if somebody doesn't do something to you, they're being themselves, and then you can either react or take a breath and respond to what's actually happening inside your body, how you're truly feeling, not from the place of reaction. And I mean, I've done it many times in my relationship with Amber, reacted to something she said that had nothing to do with what she was telling me about. It was my internal interpretation and my mind making up something, and I'd have to, once I was able to step back from it and take a couple deep breaths, man, it's really hard to say you're sorry or, stick a boot in my mouth is one of the phrases, and then have to really start over again and say it differently. And I'll tell you, the practice of that has gotten my relationship with Amber deeper and deeper, of really not reacting to things and really responding to them. And if I need time in between my initial reaction, because I can see it, I can actually see it without my eyes, I can experience it, where I want to lash out and say something to somebody, and I choose to be quiet and not respond right away. It's like, I'm going to just take a couple breaths right here and just really, before I answer that question or before I respond to that, what I initially made up as an attack, and maybe it wasn't an attack, and so by sitting in seated meditation and really practicing on that daily basis, you actually acclimate your body and your mind to not be as reactive. It's a cool process to go through. It's like, people will say that they want to get this certain feeling out of meditation, and they want to wake up feeling enlightened or more of a euphoric feeling. And I think the practice of it isn't to get anything out of it, except that you're training yourself to actually be more in relationship with your body and your hara, your emotions, to recognize that you are not your thoughts. And the samurai really knows the difference between the two. And so the pillar of the samurai, this one area, is about being responsive, not reactive. And so throughout this coming week, if you're to watch yourself, are you reacting to something, or are you responding to it? Are you noticing yourself in my men's work getting triggered by something someone says, and you want to respond back to them? It's like, oh, fuck you, or like, get out of here, or, and instead you take a breath and then you come up with a response that isn't lashing out from the same energy you may be feeling, because a lot of people are reacting from their thoughts and coming at you with them. And if you're staying in the responsive mode, it's very grounded, it's very centered, it's very samurai, where somebody saying something to you doesn't get a reaction. In judo, we used to like to try and get a reaction off of somebody. If they were up here in their mind, that you actually won the game of judo, because they can't move or react to my movement if they're in their thinking. So even like pulling on someone's gi, a gi is the uniform you wear, and that person starts to think about it, I have time to respond to that movement, like before my mind can think, and I'll throw them and put them on the ground, and I won the match. And a lot of times I don't even know what I said or what I did, except I remember that little movement that happened up top, and they reacted to it. They didn't respond to it. So if somebody tries to get me to react to something and they push on my shoulder, and I just kind of let the shoulder go back instead of pushing back into it, it's a very different energy. If someone's walking towards you with a very stout movement, and you just kind of move to the side with a response to it and keep walking, that's very aikido-like, that energy of aikido, and judo is very much a form with the concepts of aikido in there also. So as we sit together, we're training at being responsive. And so watch yourself this week coming up. Are you being in that samurai pillar and really staying in your hara? And watch yourself. Man, I all the time get hooked up into my mind, and then I get to drop back down in. And it's that dance that when we're sitting on a pillow, you're automatically going back and forth at a very rapid rate. Sometimes I'll stay up here and it feels like I barely get down into my body. Not even a quarter of a breath in 20 minutes. And I'm like, like that was terrible. And my dad would say, oh, that was the best sitting, because you sat with it and were aware of that whole thing taking place. And sometimes, man, I can take full deep breaths, and I can watch myself go in my mind and come back down nice and gently. And it's just a beautiful thing to witness those ones too, but they're not any better or any worse than being in your head and feeling discomfort and maybe agitated or thinking a lot. It's part of the practice. Okay, so be aware of that this week. As you sit here, know that you're building that muscle so that you can include your body, your emotions, your hara, and your mind to all work together, so one's not dominant. And I tell you, I believe 90% of the world is predominantly working from that thinking and the ego. So it's really got to really train at it and be aware of it. And like I said, I get caught in it all the time, and my job is to either clean it up or do it better the next time and refine it, because you can start to see it really. Now that we're talking about it, you'll see when you react to somebody or something, or respond to something that you can really feel in your body. I was talking to one of my friends, and she said something to me, and it just resonated in my body, and I got emotional, I got teary-eyed. It was like I didn't say anything for a good minute. I just stared at her because it was something that touched my heart. I didn't want to answer her right away and be reactive to it, because it was a little intense and a little like she was speaking her heart to me. And that was a beautiful moment between the two of me and her to do that. So I want to encourage all of you to practice responding and not reacting. Okay? It's a daily life practice, never ending till your last breath. Okay? So sit regularly, sit daily, sit in the morning for 3 minutes, sit for 20 minutes, but sit every day. And again, I'm really, really happy that Amber and me have finished the meditation manual, and I did put out my first newsletter today that has the teaching from last week's meditation, or from the Dharma talk. And so I want to encourage all of you to sign up on it. And you can get the meditation manual there, and if you want to download it, you can download it. Amber made up a couple spiral books. She took them to the print shop, and they can put them in a spiral thing. It's a nice reminder of the form of the meditation that we're sitting in. And the newsletter is a great way to stay up on being able to read it. And then it also has the link if you're traveling or you're at home maybe. I know it's late, but and that that YouTube has them all up there so that you can access them anytime also if you need that extra support. In the morning, if you want to do a 10-minute sitting with me, with the Sangha, it's on there. There's a 10-minute sitting, a 20-minute sitting, and then I also have the hour-long ones. And then with the Dharma talks. And I got them all on playlists now, so they're all separated out more. I'm getting more organized in the online tech world, so. All right. So again, when we finish up, if we could fluff our pillows, our zafus, and then dust off our zabatons, that would be much appreciated. And then I'll go ahead and put them away later. And I appreciate and honor all of you for coming and sitting. Welcome to 2026 again. And DojoX Meditation, Sangha. I love saying it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming tonight. Remember, you can invite a friend if you would like.